there and welcome to this week's Golf Equipment Q&A. I'm Valerie Melvin, I'm here with Frank Thomas and we're in the Frankly Frog putting studio in Orlando, Florida, where it's our mission to help you improve your putting. Great US Open, Frank. Wasn't it wonderful?
Good champion. Great champion.
Great champion. But this week's question, in fact, was from Richard, and he had a question about the 14th hole at Pebble Beach during the US Open. Obviously, some of the players had a few thoughts about that particular hole, but Richard really wanted to know, did you feel that the setup on that hole was unfair at all?
Richard, I think it requires some background. Let me explain that it's basically to do with green speed. It's very important to have all the greens on the course the same speed, including the practice putting greens, so the players can get out there and calibrate themselves. But with all the greens the same speed, then it's only the undulations that they have to look at to determine the break on the putt and going down and uphill. Now, to determine that, or to make sure that all the greens are the same speed, in 1977 I designed this device called the stimp meter. Actually, I took the idea from Eddie Stimson, and what it is a little notch at the top of the meter, and when you raise it up like this, the ball is going to come out at a specific angle, and it's going to do that every single time. And when it reaches the end and hits the green, it's going to roll a certain distance. Now, the distance that it rolls is the speed of the green, as long as it's on a flat portion of the green. So that's what it is. Now, I happen to have a mat here, a surface on which we putt at the putting studio. We would teach people to putt, and because it's so flat, we can have a mat like this, and the speed of this mat is 13 feet on the stimp meter. And I think that's probably what the green was on all the greens at the Open. So, but it's critical because the angle or the slope is critical. When the slope gets to a certain point, that ball is going to start rolling on its own. And you can see this, you can see that, and it's not a very steep angle. And you can, here we do it again, not a very steep angle, and it'll just keep rolling. Now, there's a term that's used which is called the limiting angle of repose, which if I started this ball rolling, because there's a little sort of friction required to get it going, but if I can just actually start it rolling, it's not going to speed up or slow down at this particular angle, which is the limiting angle of repose, which is not very much.
It's not very much,
no,
is it?
No, and so that particular green has that particular slope. So you have to back off on the speed to be able to make it fair, because I don't think the architect had in mind a ball that was hit, on the right side of the green would come all the way off and behind a bunker. So it was an unfortunate situation, but it's just a matter of understanding green speeds and slopes, and a perfect shot was rewarded, so we can't complain too much about that. It was the good or mediocre shots that I think created some problem. But thanks for the question, Richard, and I'm glad. I hope I've been able to explain the situation to you. I don't think it was unfair, but I think it was just unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for that, Frank. I thought it was really interesting, especially seeing how slight that angle has to be before it will start rolling at that speed.
Especially on a green that speed,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Well, thank you for checking in this week, and until next week,
may the frog be with you. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Find your frog at franklyfrog.com. Ribbit.